But not all trends should stick around. So Stacy here is here with me now with some trends that should stay and some that need to go away. So we're gonna use your help, audience. We're all gonna vote together on some of these trends. That was a gorgeous makeover, by the way.
Thanks.
My goodness, what a transformation. Let's do trend number one.
So
yellow chintz. Just chintz. Take a look at the picture. There's a lot of it. It's everywhere. So I would love for everyone to vote on if this trend should stay or go away. Chintz, everyone. Some of you say stay.
Yikes.
Most of you say go away. What do you say?
Well, I think chintz does maybe have a bad name. So traditionally it was fabrics that had a glaze on it, so a bit of a sheen, lots of floral and fauna pattern, and imported in from India. Now we're getting bolder fabrics, bolder colors, still with large oversized floral prints, but it looks a little bit more contemporary and modern. And I think although maybe chintz in the way that you saw it in that photo should go, I think that there is a place for chintz now. And it's in little bursts and accent walls like you see here. I love this wallpaper from Graham & Brown. The color wave is gorgeous. So I could totally see this counter stool, for example, in a kitchen that's maybe all white, and then that little burst of color would look amazing in the space.
Okay, so it doesn't need to go away if you just do it sparingly. Don't match the valance and the wallpaper and the
upholstery. You don't want to, you don't want to match it. And we're mixing it with different pieces, so it's more modern pieces mixed with the chintz fabric. Yes. So these beautiful fabrics from Y & Co. show you how you can really get some beautiful, bold colors, but it still looks contemporary, so you can still tie it in with some of your more transitional or contemporary pieces, and it just adds a hit of color and pattern. And the chair behind you from IKEA, I think would also be great as just a little hit in the space.
I'd use that. For sure.
Perfect.
Okay, how about this one? Red velvet. Do we love red velvet? Oh, should it go away or should it stay? Well, most of you are just like me. Go away. What do you think, Stace?
So again, I think velvet, it hasn't ever really gone away. I think velvet in that format, especially with the valance above the window, needs to go for sure. And we don't match things so much anymore also. So I think velvet definitely does have a place in our design nowadays. I've got some beautiful pieces here. All of these fabrics are from Tonic Living on these pillows, and they're gorgeous. You can see here you've got this like ruching in this velvet, and then beautiful deep tones. So I think, and channeled velvet. So we're seeing a lot more texture in the velvet, so it's not just necessarily all matching velvets.
Lovely.
This little stool from HomeSense also is a great showpiece of what you can do with velvet. And then also we're seeing it really in interesting pieces that we haven't seen before.
Cool.
Exactly. So HomeSense has these great pieces. This lamp shade, for example, is done in velvet. The frame of the mirror in velvet. So we're seeing it used in ways that we haven't traditionally done. So it's a little bit more of a modern take on the velvet. So I think it can stay.
Okay, it can stay. It can stay if it's done, well, you know, as long as we're not just talking about red and we're not using it in that way.
Exactly. Not so matchy-matchy.
Right. Okay, take a look at this wall. It is a vibrant Kelly green color. Do we want this to stay or do we want it to go away? I'm gonna go with stay.
Yay.
Yeah, most of you are gonna go with stay as well. What do we think, Stacey?
I'm glad because actually Kelly green is having a moment, and it's having a moment at my house. So I'm glad it's okay to stay. Exactly. So I have some photos of projects where we've used the Kelly green. So we did a headboard, and we did that in Kelly green.
Oh, nice.
And again, that little hit of color really adds personality to the space.
Yeah.
And it's not too overdone though. And then at my own home, I did a stair runner, and I wanted to add a little bit of color, so I did some binding in Kelly green. So you can see on the edge there, and I have a little remnant piece of it here. So just that little hit of green, I think, adds a bit of personality and fun to the space, but it doesn't feel overdone. And so if you tire of Kelly green, it's almost small enough that you don't really notice it. Don't really notice it.
The need to repeat it if you use it as a border for the stair runner?
I did not. And
you didn't? Oh, good for you.
And that's the thing too. I think now you don't have the repetition of that color everywhere. It almost looks like you've overly tried to make it all work together.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, the next one, Terrazzo. I have a love relationship with this one. Terrazzo, is this should this go away? Should it stay? I would like it to go away. You're half and half. They're half stay, half go away. What do you think?
So again, traditionally it was Italy, and it was leftover remnant of marble and stone put into and that was the Terrazzo. So I think with that in mind, it can look pretty out. But now we've got it in these new formats where it's resin material that's made to look like traditional. So you can get this in sheet goods, for example, is almost like slabs, so it'd be countertop. And I think again in hits, you had an all-white kitchen, you could introduce some of that. A lot of these Terrazzos are also tone on tone, so it's not necessarily all as you see in that image. Even in accessories, we're seeing the Terrazzo, the placemats, and this diffuser. So seeing it in little bits and pieces.
Use it as an accessory.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, how about image? Take a look at this. Ooh, lots of tools. Do we want to stay or go away? Okay. I don't like
people.
I like it.
Okay. So with the events, I actually love. I love this trend. Again, not as see it in the photo.
Okay.
So it matches the curtain panel. The embellishments are more adding personality to a very clean line piece. So the pom-poms, the fringe on the pillows, the tassels at the end of the throw blankets. So it's really more to add personality. So all these pieces from Tonic Living are beautiful. And here you can see we've even incorporated on this custom ottoman velvet on the bottom and a fabric on the top, and then we embellished it with this little tassel. So it's more adding personality, matching the piece. So it's kind of giving it more of an artisanal feel and almost like a little tweak of whimsical fun.
That ottoman would be perfect if you just got rid of the tassel.
Right.
Just joking. I'm just joking. Thank you, Stacy.